Live from WTVO Rockford and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
Heating costs are expected to skyrocket this winter. An expert offers tips to save you money.
Illinois voters got their first look at the two major party candidates for governor sparring about policy. One political analyst explains why he thinks it was a stalemate.
And the Rockford Ice Hogs announce a grant to a state-line organization. The funds will go towards helping minority-owned businesses. Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson. We've been talking about it all week. Temperatures tonight could be the coldest since April, and it's going to cost you more to turn on your heat this year.
Our Nicor Delgado talked with someone from Citizens Utility Board. Nicor, what did they have to say?
Well, Eric and Mimi, I'm told the upcoming winter season is predicted to be the most expensive in more than a decade when it comes to heating up your home. Nicor says the average customer will pay more than $970 to heat up this winter. That's almost doubled from last year.
It's darker out, so we have got more lights on. It gets colder, obviously, where we're at, so we're running more heat. And all of that, coupled with the rising costs of some of our goods, can be a little scary.
Owner of Culture Shock Clothing and Records, Skylar Davis, has been in business for 16 years. He says it's always a little scary heading into the winter months because he knows there's going to be an extra cost for electric and heating.
We do have solar, of course, for our electric, which has been a big help. But with gas and heat, there's not a lot you can do to that other than just be cautious of the time it's on and try to keep warm and keep things sealed up.
Jim Chilson is the Director of Communications for the Citizens Utility Board. He tells me even while it's going to be a painful winter, there are some things you can do to cut down your heating bill. One is to keep the thermostat at around 68 degrees.
Never, ever go below 55 degrees. That will freeze your pipes. That can cause all types of problems. So you always want to keep your home at a safe temperature.
You can also winterize your windows and doors by adding plastic or add draft-proofing strips. During the day, open the blinds and let the sun heat up your home.
Energy efficiency is always about keeping your home safe and warm. And we tell everyone that you should check on family, friends, neighbors, make sure that everybody's staying safe, that nobody is taking any risks to lower their utility bills.
Skylar tells me he added a smart timer to the thermostat, and to be even more energy efficient, he plans to get new windows.
To utilize their local businesses and support the locally made items we carry, of course that helps us pay our bills, pay our employees, and keep things going.
Cub also warned scammers that they will try to lure in what looks like a good deal for a different utility. Never give an account number. For more information to keep your utility bills low or assistance information, find this story at mystateline.com. Mimi?
All right, thanks, Nicor. A Freeport man faces serious charges after a minor traffic accident. Freeport police say it started when two drivers got into a minor crash at the intersection of Galena Avenue and Park Boulevard. Witnesses say while the two were talking about the crash, 35-year-old Justin Knapp began hitting the 49-year-old woman from Stockton with a metal bar. Two bystanders were able to intervene until officers arrived. Knapp is charged with aggravated battery. The woman was transferred to a Rockford hospital and is reported to be in stable condition.
Two Freeport men are arrested in Oregon after police say the pair stole from a store. Thursday night, officers were called to Ace Hardware on 4th Street. Employees confronted two people who matched the descriptions from a previous theft. The men took off when police got there. Officers found them about a block away. Police identify the two as 58-year-old Terry Ernst and 57-year-old Michael Hilly. Investigators say a large amount of possibly stolen property was found inside the men's car. Police think Ernst and Hilly are behind several thefts in the area, including one at the same store. Both are charged with retail theft. Also Thursday night, but this time in Janesville, police say smart-thinking employees stopped a robbery. A man pulled up in the drive-through window at the Culvers on Milton Avenue. He passed a note demanding money. The employee just shut the window. The man took off in a red Jeep with a hard top, no license plates. If you know anything about this attempted robbery, call Janesville Police or Janesville Area Crime Stoppers.
Governor Pritzker and Senator Bailey went head-to-head in their first debate yesterday. Now people are reacting to how well the candidates answered questions and solidified their stances on the issues. Eyewitness News is keeping you connected to the Capitol. One political expert from University of Illinois Springfield, Professor Emeritus Kent Redfield, said it's really a draw between the two. He did say, though, that Bailey won by not losing. Redfield also added that Bailey danced around issues related to abortion and gun control. For voters interested in abortion rights and gun control, he says Pritzker reinforced his position on those issues. Redfield doesn't believe last night's debate swayed any voters.
There's no clear knockout or stumble that you can point to. And so they didn't hurt themselves. They didn't help themselves.
Based on the Hill Emerson College polling from last week, Pritzker has a sizable lead over Bailey at 51% of voters saying they support his reelection. 36% of voters say they support Bailey. Redfield says Bailey has a lot of ground to make up to improve his chances, adding that he has to attract more moderate suburban voters without alienating his core base of supporters. Last night's debate was the first of two exclusive nights for our Next Star stations. The second will be October 18th, live from WGN Studios in Chicago. We'll air that on our sister station, Fox 39. You can also watch it on mystateline.com.
NAMI Northern Illinois continues events for Mental Illness Awareness Week. They held a rally in Rockford. Raise Your Voice Rally for Mental Health took place at the Nordloff Center. Organizations shared their past year's accomplishments, along with new ideas, and a call to action around the topics of mental illness and mental health. NAMI also distributed its Making a Difference Awards. Tomorrow, the group holds a screening of the Pixar movie Soul, and we'll have a discussion of the film after. Doors open at 1:30 over at the NIU Rockford Conference Center. Rockford Ice Hogs announced a grant to a state line organization.
The team is giving $50,000 to Think Big, a leading resource for minority-owned businesses. The check presentation took place today at the Ice Hogs business office. The grant will help Think Big launch the Think Big School of Business 2.0. It will also allow them to provide mini grants to minority-owned businesses to overcome obstacles and advance their business. The co-founder of Think Big is honored to be the recipient of the money.
This $50,000, what it would do is it would help us to be able to assist some of those businesses to sustain and to grow. So maybe they might be a t-shirt business and they just need a piece of equipment to go ahead and up their production and making t-shirts. And so these micro grants would help in that area.
Since 1999, the Ice Hogs have contributed over $1 million to support organizations and causes in the greater Rockford region. What happens now that President Biden's pardoned people who've been convicted of simple marijuana possession under federal law?
Coming up, it comes as marijuana is still illegal in some states.
And a day of firsts for the nation's highest court coming up at 6. The reason a picture like this doesn't happen often.
And our temperatures were much cooler today than they were yesterday, and a freeze warning is even in effect overnight tonight. Find out how long that chill sticks around coming up in just a few minutes.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team with Eric Wilson, Mimi Murphy, Scott Leber, and meteorologist Jordan Wolf.
Thursday, President Joe Biden granted a pardon to all people convicted of simple marijuana possession under federal law.
Anna Warnicki's in Washington with more on the next steps.
No one should be in jail just for using or possessing marijuana.
Now that President Joe Biden has announced pardons for Americans with federal convictions for simple marijuana possession, marijuana advocate Paul Armentano says the real work begins.
The president cannot unilaterally repeal federal marijuana prohibition. Only Congress can do that. And President Biden has now upped the pressure on congressional leadership.
37 states have already legalized medical marijuana, and 19 have made it available for recreational use.
We need to get to a point where state and federal laws are consistent.
Armentano says the president should work with Congress to regulate marijuana like alcohol by allowing states to make the rules.
That is the roadmap that Congress should be following for marijuana.
President Biden says he's asked Secretary of Health and Human Services Javier Becerra to begin a review of how marijuana is classified under federal law.
It's time that we right these wrongs.
But getting any bill through Congress will be difficult. So far, the Democratic-controlled House passed 2 bills that would eliminate federal marijuana penalties. But those bills have stalled in the Senate. In Washington, I'm Anna Warnicki.
A chilly but sunny Friday here in the State Line.
Coming up, Jordan shows us if you plan on going outside this weekend, especially in the morning, you might want to wear layers.
Now, your first warned weather forecast from meteorologist Jordan Wolf.
Well, our temperatures today have been a lot cooler than where we were even just yesterday. We made it up into the 70s yesterday. Compare that to what we have today, only into the 50s. Still, we're seeing a lot of those temperatures into the 50s, holding on to a lot of those. But we do have plenty of sunshine. Did not help in our temperature department as we only made it up to 55 degrees so far in Rockford. Some spots have dropped close to the upper 40s already as those temperatures continue to fall. Clear skies are going to be the main driver for how cold it's going to get tonight. That sunshine looks nice as of now on the SkyTrack camera out there on the northeast side of Rockford, but that will continue to allow those temperatures to fall overnight tonight, even down into the low 30s. That SkyTrack camera up there is sponsored by Mercy Health. We are looking at those clear skies satellite radar as well. Those rain showers off across Lake Michigan not set to impact us here as the north wind is what's driving those rain showers, kind of lake effect showers actually. Those clear skies here locally tonight do drop our temperatures down into the low 30s. 33 degrees officially is where we fall to here in Rockford, and that will lead to some widespread frost, much cooler temperatures as winds continue to drop down as well. That's where we have a lot of this cooler air, noted by here the freeze warnings, frost advisories across the entire region. This dark purple color, that's the freeze warning across most of the Midwest and even into the plains. Frost advisories off to our south and southeast where it's not set to get quite as cold. And that's where we're seeing a lot of that cooler air settling in place from the cold front that we had yesterday. Locally, the entire state line remains under that freeze warning as here we see those temperatures falling close to that 30-degree mark overnight tonight. That's where we're going to see a lot of that cooler temperatures sticking around. So if you have any outdoor plants or any crops that you need to be able to take those precautions, as that frost and those freezing temperatures will hold on till early tomorrow morning. We start out the day frosty, but we're working our way back up into the 50s, similar to what we have today, even a couple degrees warmer than that, with a lot of that sunshine tomorrow afternoon. Here's what we're looking at with Futurecast. Clear skies allow those temperatures to fall overnight tonight. Clear skies tomorrow bring our temperatures into the 50s. We get a little bit of an increase in cloud cover Saturday night into Sunday. That keeps our temperatures just a bit warmer. We don't quite get to that freezing mark, but still upper 30s for these next couple of nights. We're going to see an increase in those temperatures as we trend toward the middle of the week, as there's that outgoing trough that's bringing the cold air now. A slight increase of a ridge, that's what's going to bring us some increase in temperatures into the middle of the week. That'll bring temperatures even close to the 70s for a couple of days, but notice what's right on its tail. That's another trough working its way in. That's what's going to bring us our next chances for some rain showers, maybe even an isolated thunder threat into the middle of the week. Here's what Futurecast looks like, still a ways out, so don't take this as quite what's going to happen exactly. This is just a model, but we're seeing those definitely possibility that we could have some of those soaking rain showers working their way in Tuesday and into Wednesday before a cold front slides through and clears us back out into late Thursday. After that, we're going to continue to see that cooler pattern sticking around even beyond the middle of the week. 8 to 14 days out, Climate Protection Center outlook the 15th through the 21st. That's toward the end of the month. We're going to see those below average temperatures continuing to remain in place. Here's the 7-day forecast as we continue to see those temperatures working back up into the 60s as we trend toward the back half of the week, but that frost still in our minds, at least in the short term. Luckily, though, we're back up into the 70s for the middle of the week, but we cool right back down toward the back half of the week.
Yeah, you weren't kidding how fast that second cool down comes. Jordan, thanks.
High school football action is set for tonight. Scott will be joining us live from Pecatonica, where our game of the week will be taking place. He'll preview Lena Winslow against Dupec.
Now sports with sports director Scott Leber.
Pecatonica's football field is a very quiet place right now, but that'll all change come 7 o'clock. This place will be filled with fans because at 7 o'clock, that's when kickoff will be between the Dupec Rivermen and the Lena Winslow Panthers. These are two teams that have their hearts set on winning the NUIC championship. And let's look at the current conference standings and at the 4 teams that are currently battling for that championship. Lena Winslow leads the way with a 5-0 conference record. The Panthers are ranked number 1 in the state in Class 1A. DuPec and Fulton are both 4-1 in the conference. Forreston is next at 4-2. The last 2 years now, the Panthers and Rivermen have had some classic games. 2 seasons ago, the Panthers won on a 1-yard short touchdown run by Evan England with 12 seconds to play. 24-21 was the final score. Last year was a back-and-forth game, and DuPec won that one on a 1-yard touchdown run by Trenton Taylor in the final minute. When these 2 teams go at it, they leave every ounce of energy on the field.
This is a big game everybody looks forward to every year, so everybody's going to prepare hard, and we know they're going to give it their all, so we got to bring our all too.
Yeah, it's one of those games where, from either school, you go out there and you give everything you have and 100% effort from both sides. It's a really fun game from every angle.
We play our hearts out. We love the game, obviously. We just play our hearts out pretty much.
I feel like we formed a little bit of a rivalry over the past 3 years, and yeah, it's safe to say we're going to leave everything out there. Both teams are.
Both of these teams graduated 2 amazing senior classes from a year ago, yet here they are, still playing a very high caliber of football, and that says a lot about the coaches and these 2 programs.
We both have one thing in common. It's about building a program, not coaching one class. I think that's probably the biggest thing we have in common is we're worried about the overall program maybe, and not necessarily just this year or last year or next year.
We feel that we're kind of at the part of the program where we can just kind of reload and rebuild. I mean, obviously losing the seniors like we did last year, it's taken us a few games to get some guys acclimated to the varsity football level, but they're making strides in the right direction. I really like where we're at right now.
Some of the other key games tonight we'll be following closely are Fulton at Forreston, Galena at Dakota, Winnebago at Stillman Valley, Rockford Lutheran at Rockford Christian, and Hononegah at Belvedere North. Reagan Holgate and I will have all the highlights coming your way at 11 o'clock live on Overtime on Fox 39. In baseball's playoffs this afternoon, the Cardinals lost to the Phillies 6-3. The Guardians edged the Rays 2-1. That's it from Pecatonica. We'll be right back.
Clear skies tonight on the First Warn Interactive Radar. Going to drop our temperatures down all the way into the low 30s overnight tonight. A freeze warning is in effect for the entire state line. Goes from 1 a.m. tonight until early tomorrow morning. But luckily, we're warming up temperatures throughout the middle of next week, even into the 70s with some rain chances Tuesday and Wednesday. Much cooler into next weekend.
Thanks, Jordan.
And thank you for spending some time with us. Stay safe.